I became very busy most of the time I've been here, trying to get one book finished, which is, from my side, much of the work is done. And then I wanted to get a series of talks done, so that also became marathon. So I hope not to be so aloof next time. One thing I was asked to convey, very important, safe driving. If we go faster, anyway, it doesn't need elaboration, but the idea is that go faster, you get to your destination faster, waste less time and do more practical service than just sitting in a vehicle. But it's dangerous. Don't speed, drive carefully. And if tired, change the driver. If both drivers are tired, stop. If you miss even half a day of book distribution, it's better. There should always be two devotees awake in the vehicle. One is the driver, and the other is sitting next to the driver. So if it's seen that the driver becomes sleepy, the one sitting next to the driver can see that, because often the driver doesn't even notice. It may be too late. Every year, some devotees are killed due to falling asleep while driving. Every year. I was in an accident once. It must have been, I guess it was 1975, 1976. We thought we'd go and do book distribution for the New Year's. It was just at the December the 31st. Go out at night. It was not good for book distribution. But we were driving back. I was sitting in the van. We didn't have seats in the back of the van, so there was two sitting in the front, and all the rest of us were just in the back with no seats. So I got a hold of the driver just before she, I believe it was, seem to remember, slammed into a tree at high speed. So, Hare Krishna, be careful. Remember, you have to say it regularly. Maybe you should put a sticker in the front of the car. Not front of the car means in the dashboard, yeah, so you can see. Well, you can think what to say. Don't drive safely. That's 2 words enough. Karma Prabhu gave the idea. Two words. It's good if you can have a 2-word title for a book. Get it. It's brief, to the point. Drive safely. If you should care about your own life, because it's not your own life. It's meant for Krishna's service. And what to speak of those who are with you. So, what else do you want to say? Any discussion on that? Safe driving? Then we need, yeah.
Very much. Usually, when two of us go on books,
books or whatever.
On traveling Sankirtan, wherever. We usually
traveling Sankirtan or whatever. You don't know. Yes. Driving is not only on Sankirtan. Right?
Yes, Maharaj. When we go driving, and it's usually 2 devotees.
Even in the city, it's quite possible to, if you're tired, to just going downtown, you could fall asleep.
Yeah. The way we usually plan it is that we're rested, and then one devotee who's driving, they're good at staying awake in the morning, and the other one takes rest, and then they swap it out. And the devotee
Yeah,
who's
okay,
rested.
that's good,
Is
but
that okay,
I wouldn't
Maharaj?
be saying this unless there was some issue, right?
Yes, Maharaj, the issue was driving too fast, but usually we haven't had experiences of devotees falling asleep.
You don't have much experience of
Not
devotees falling
probably,
asleep.
it happened a long
Driving
time
too
ago.
fast is the
Yes,
issue.
Maharaj, it happened like once a long time ago. But the main problem is
Fast driving.
rash driving, cutting edges.
Rash driving, cutting in front of people.
Cutting in front of people, just for the thrill of it.
For the thrill of it.
Yesterday, one devotee
You
did.
might have the thrill of getting a ticket.
Yeah.
2 days ago, one devotee somehow decided to drive 108, which is way over the speed limit.
Way over the speed limit.
It was brought to our attention by Janardhan Krishna's mother, who was very, very alarmed. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the main thing. Most devotees don't usually fall asleep while driving. We're very specific
Fast
about
and in
that.
other ways rash driving, cutting others out.
Yeah, just
Way over
you
the
know.
speed limit is the problem. Way over the speed limit. This is the issue. And then that's the problem on the highways. And then in the city, it's just, swerving in and out. And Atlanta is really bad for,
It's not a safe driving city.
no, it's infamous for very reckless driving. And so even if you're a good driver, many people are scared to drive through the downtown connector, which is the main highway that passes through downtown and midtown. It's the kind of driving people do there is. And we had an incident about 3 years ago where you were driving safe, but then some guy decided to rear-end him, and then he rear-ended a vehicle in front of him, and 3 vehicles. And when the guy it was 4 vehicles in a row, but the first person who rear-ended actually just
Keep driving.
hit and run. And he just took off, and this wasn't even his fault, and it was still so this happens even when you don't have any fault.
Then what happened? The cops?
Yeah, the
ticket?
cops came, but fortunately, because he was rear-ended, anyone who's rear-ended, that person becomes responsible for the whole crash. But the problem is if you're reckless in driving, you're driving too close or you're cutting corners, then you can be at fault, even though you think that you won't be.
Even a small dent is minimum $500 to repair it.
Oh, it's so expensive. I mean, one incident that happened, for instance, is one devotee driving too close to the curb, and then clipping the side view mirror. Yeah, the side view mirror on another vehicle, the truck that was passed, that was close by. It just lack of attention, lack of presence.
Too much confidence.
Yeah.
That's too much confidence, Maharaj. It may be like, oh, we've been driving cars for, before we were born, so we're so good at driving, you don't advise us. That whole thing, it is dangerous. And holding stuff in the hand when driving, holding things.
Oh, using the mobile.
Yeah, of course, that's the main thing, using the mobile phone while
It's a
driving.
major cause of road accidents.
Yeah, but it's too much
I did it
confidence.
so many times. I called on the phone. So, no, I'm just setting the, what do you call that?
GPS.
Just setting the GPS. And in that you could be dead. Two hands on the steering wheel. Even when going on the highway in a group of cars,
Oh.
when it looks safe, always keep 2 hands on the cars and 2 eyes on the road.
Sometimes once the concern comes up that, let's just say we're driving in Atlanta and the speed limit is on a particular place 55 miles per hour, and everyone around you is going like 20 above or whatever.
Because there's also
Yeah,
the whole
go ahead.
going
Give
with
the
the
mic.
flow of traffic.
I'll be hold up.
I mean, it's not a law or anything, but generally it's like,
Safer.
it's safer to go with the flow of traffic, and sometimes, like, the traffic is so aggressive, it can even be dangerous to be too, like, passive on the road, you know? And it's like, just like Atlanta, Miami, generally you have to be a little bit more, you know, driving too slow can be dangerous. So it may be like the mile per hour is 55, but people are
How
driving
does it
like,
work out that driving slow can be dangerous?
because people are going really fast in the other lane, and you have to, you can explain the point? Yeah, I'm not going to explain it.
So Grumar, sometimes like, I've had the experience if you're trying to drive the speed limit, everyone else is speeding, so they're like zipping by you, and if you need to change lanes or something, then they're coming from behind really, really quickly. There's like a risk of them hitting you from behind, or not being able to like see somebody that's coming up so quick because, you know, they're so far away, but they come really quickly, and yeah. Yeah, they try to zip around you, and then that can cause another accident.
There is definitely truth to that, Mark. We've seen it so many times. That we may be at 60, but everyone around you at 75, and then changing lanes. That's definitely, so, sorry. So what do we do in such a situation where the Dharma Sankata?
Well, you have to do what's safest.
Yeah,
And the
challenge is-
police don't catch groups of people going too fast.
Literally the whole city does.
So yeah, if everybody is doing it, then you won't get caught. Now,
Don't they have cameras which catch everybody?
so this is, well, not on the highway. But the main issue is this develops into a habit. And then there's like one location we've had where every time we go and get milk from a farm, they have to go by a school district. And that school district has this really good camera that always catches you, even if you're 5 miles over the speed limit. And we've probably spent about $350 or $400, maybe more.
Definitely,
Maybe $600 in fines on that one location where there's no reason, there's no other traffic, there's nothing. It's a school, it's a residential school road. So it's clearly said, if you go above, you're gonna get fined, everything, still they go and get tickets. And then they send a photo, they send it to the temple, and you have to pay.
And what was embarrassing, Marge just said, the first time we were going was a car donated to us by another good-hearted devotee, and he was getting the fines.
He got the fine.
It wasn't once.
Yeah, a couple of
It wasn't once, it was a couple of times, and previously they were using Nick's car, and we didn't know we were getting tickets, and they got about 3 tickets, and Nick's parents called, Navani Hoda's parents called, and they were like, what are you doing? Why are you driving like this? This like, you're getting tickets after tickets, what the hell is going on? And then, you know, it was a very embarrassing situation because Navani Hoda is not supposed to tell his parents that we're using, yeah, and then Sheshashai Prabhu, you know. So, so these guys, this is what, this one reason
it's an excuse for everything.
it becomes the excuse for everything else. And while this is
What
valid,
reason?
the reason that we have to go along with the flow of traffic, but then they get used to this, and then this is how everyone drives everywhere, and then it's getting scary actually, because that risk of driving in that traffic, while that is there, the fact that they're getting influenced by this and doing it everywhere else increases the risk in other circumstances way higher than that particular circumstance.
In that Driving for Krishna book, it says if not to go 1 iota over the speed limit, and then the way like to make that work in there, it says just to stay in the slower lane, and it seems like that works out from what I've seen. Dhanavir Maharaj was telling me that once you go over the speed limit, then everything else comes, the holding things or driving recklessly.
But still, if you're going in the slow lane at the proper speed, people can cut in front of you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was saying, I don't know, a practical way to understand the example is how we run around in Tulsi Puja. Some people are going fast, some are going slow. Those who are going slower get ran into, kind of thing. Happens on the road too.
There's enough space there.
No rubber band. I mean, one thing, Hare Krishna, one thing they teach you in like driver's ed is the concept of defensive driving. So like just, always be on the side of more caution. Like, I mean, my opinion is that driving slow is better, driving the speed limit is better. Like, if someone cuts you off, you can't control that, but you can control how fast you're going. It's like you can't control the aggression of other drivers. It doesn't mean that you come up to their aggression level. You just kind of stay safe. And another thing that I notice is...
And if you have that habit, you'll take that habit elsewhere.
That's what's happening.
But if you have the habit of driving recklessly, then you'll take that elsewhere also.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening, unfortunately.
So that's the message. Just keep within the rules, drive safely, and don't go with the flow if the flow is not safe. Yeah.
Do we keep that rule of saying like whatever 10% over the speed limit?
Yeah, that's fine.
We keep that in.
That's fine. Well, according to me, it's not.
It used to be in England that the police wouldn't, they'd let you go so much over the speed limit without giving a ticket. But at some small increment they would allow that. That's probably true here also.
Yeah, so
But I think they tightened up now and they just, as soon as you go over, like one or two, they'll catch you.
Yeah, well, in the US, the general standard is 10% over the speed limit is the admissible, buffer,
Yeah.
you can call it. And this is what most people drive at. Dhanavir Maharaj, he's very insistent on his disciples driving at the speed limit, not even one over the speed limit, because what he says is that once you let that one in, everything else starts to. He interestingly draws that to using the phone, this, that. I mean,
shlokas. That happens too. You learn shlokas when you drive. Learning shlokas too. It goes
I've
into
never heard of that.
I know you haven't, but it happens.
Anyways, this is complicated. You can try. He has something to say.
Oh. One thing.
What did you do? Good. It was working fine.
Okay. One thing I always remind people, devotees, whatever, is that driving over the speed limit actually, some people think it saves time. It actually ends up not saving much time at all, especially like the recent instance we were going 108. But I think we only shaved like 6 minutes off or something. So if that's like the mindset to get somewhere quicker, to accelerate, to cut people off, it actually doesn't save much time. Because I think the way that even the stoplights are like programmed is you're going to get caught at one and you'll lose all that time you saved anyways and whatnot.
is on? All right. Is there any room, like if devotees are up late or some situation like that, for them to sleep in and wake up later, if that
If
helps
you're
with the driving?
driving, you should get sufficient rest. Often, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Often we're overconfident. Once I saw a devotee was tired, he was going to drive. It was just him and his family, and it's his children, and I don't think his wife drives, and myself. So I was going to take rest, but in the car, that was the plan, while driving. But I said, hey, better you wait, we'll be late, even we missed the program we're supposed to be going to, we come late, but you look very tired. He said, no, I'll be okay. And then I woke up when he smashed into a electric pylon, electric pole. And then luckily the live wire it came down and it was just this far away from my door.
Oh, Krishna. The whole car was that electrocuted.
Yeah,
Guru Maharaj's door was right there.
on that side, yeah.
Oh, Krishna.
And getting out the other side was difficult because there was an incline. So he was confident, no, I'll be okay. I should have insisted, no, don't drive like this.
I know that I personally feel like always just kind of like afraid to drive. I don't really like driving, but it's necessary, especially, so I tell myself that it's a service, and that's how I do it. But for such a person, is it even like safe for such a person who's like literally afraid to be on the road, to be driving?
Probably not. You have to see the performance to say.
In America, driving is an extremely basic skill in many cases.
Yeah, in most of America, driving is it's required just to navigate life, with the exception of New York City, probably.
Yeah, that's literally the only place. You don't need. She's from New York, so.
Understandable. Okay, anything else?
Ali Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, if a devotee likes to hear the talks of another devotee and their guru says that some of the things that devotee is saying are not bona fide or not in line with Srila Prabhupada, is it okay? I mean, like, what is the, and the devotee that's listening to those says, well, it's just a difference of opinion, it's different, is still Krishna conscious.
Then your guru is your own mind, isn't it? Such a statement about someone means there must be something quite serious. But if you have a different opinion, then you don't have a guru, actually.
Hare Krishna.
Then what you
Guru Maharaj, in your class that you gave for initiation, you were speaking about how when Srila Prabhupada came, he was more lenient with his disciples in regards to like traditional Vedic culture, in that as your disciple, it's important that we establish those ideals that Srila Prabhupada wrote about in his writings. And I'm just wondering, when it comes to women, in the way that in which like we behave as far as chastity and modesty, like within the cities, with preaching, we tend to be a bit more, external. But then when it comes to like Daiva Varnashram and establishing farm communities, and what I've seen in like Nandagram, the women there are very much reserved. And so coming from the city and wanting to establish that kind of ideal, how do we adjust ourselves accordingly to be able to live up to those ideals?
Lamb at home, lion in the chase. You know that? Yeah. In one sense, it would be ideal if the Matajis didn't go out at all, but who's going to preach to... Well, one thing is we need many preachers, and preaching outside or even inside to women coming out from outside, we need lady devotees to do that. Another thing is that Matajis who come newly and join our ashram, they're not going to be able to, generally it's seen they're not able to make such a big cultural shift in their outlook overnight, so they also need to be involved in that way. Maybe not overnight, maybe not over a long time also. We have to see. That's why I said, if you can't adjust, there are other places you can go to and chant Hare Krishna. The main thing is chanting Hare Krishna. But we want to try and instill this culture also. It's helpful for spiritual advancement. It may be difficult.
Guru Maharaj, I was just reading in Mitravan Prabhu's room, just different things about Prabhupada regarding like coming back for his disciples, and there was one line that said that most of his disciples would be demigods, and it just sort of made me wonder what constitutes, a disciple that ends up being a demigod. Is it that they follow like strictly their whole life and they still have material desires, or is it?
Well, elsewhere we have written that the devotees are more than demigods. If you're practicing Krishna consciousness, trying to be anyabhilashita shunyata, with the cultivating the mood of not having any desires, doing everything for Krishna, then you're better situated than the demigods. But if we cultivate devotional service and cultivate simultaneously material desires, then we're likely to end up in the heavenly planets. Or even if we're not cultivating material desires, if we're not completely purified, when we leave this body, we're likely to end up in the heavenly planets.
Guru Maharaj, so our devotees distribute a lot of books because they have enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm is displayed in them also having a good time out on book distribution. It's quite amazing, and many devotees around the world are inspired by this. Sometimes it seems that there's been observation from multiple devotees, but it's difficult to draw the line, is that enthusiasm comes back into the temple, but then, and devotees joke with each other, which is very nice, and some of that is definitely needed, and it helps us maintain a very close familial spirit. But then sometimes it seems to go overboard, where some devotees have found that it becomes condescending or prajalpa, putting others down, and this. So sometimes we feel that boys will be boys, and other times it feels, well, we're supposed to be devotees. And then if we become too serious, it becomes boring.
Yeah, it's all a question of where to draw the line. We see among Lord Chaitanya's associates, especially Advaita and Nityananda, they would joke with each other, rib each other. You know what ribbing means?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. It was misunderstood by some. How far is too far? Is that you? I don't know any mathematical formula that can define it. That's too far. Going, oh man. Maybe that's too far. Is it? What do you all think?
Yes.
Is it too far? Mahotsav Prabhu can do no wrong.
No, that's not true.
Whatever he does is the standard. Yad yad acharati shreshtaha. Devotees are grave, that's one of the qualities of a devotee, gambhira. And also Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, they're all very happy also. May appear to be contradictory, grave and happy. So you see, you check yourself if you feel it's going too far. That's all. It's hard to give any formula. And sometimes I see devotees get into habitually some role playing among each other as a joke, but then it just becomes a habit, and it becomes internalized practically. I know two of my godbrothers, they used to take the role of New York lowlife kind of talk among each other as a kind of joke. But then they just did it all the time without even thinking. So it became prajalpa, actually. You have to see, some people have very jolly personality, so just you feel like joking when you're around them. Some have a very grave personality and you feel, I don't want to joke.
So Maharaj, in our preaching endeavors, we're finding, especially in Atlanta, that we happen to come across a lot of gay people and lesbian, and they're interested in Krishna consciousness. I know they can't particularly live in the ashram, but it seems quite difficult to somehow
tell them to practice at home. They can do the best they can. What can you do? They have serious anartha. Everyone has serious anarthas. People are eating meat. The feeling is there that I can't overcome it because it's me. I was born like that. The heterosexual tendency is also very degrading, but we have to try and control it. Otherwise, we can't make spiritual advancement. There is a channel for indulging that in a Krishna conscious way. There's no channel for indulging homosexuality in a Krishna conscious way. So it's difficult. Difficult for them, more difficult for them, no doubt. It's like, in various ways, some people are advantaged and disadvantaged. People coming from a Buddhist background are generally disadvantaged because of their outlook on life is very much influenced by the Buddhistic background. So it may be very difficult for them. It's an anartha which is difficult to overcome, no doubt. Possibly they could be referred to devotees who are more open to that kind of outreach and propagation.
Do we tell them that, like, you know, obviously?
Tell them they can contact. Amogalila Prabhu was here recently. He said he was interested in preaching to this community.
Prabhupada disciple
Oh.
Who are you thinking of? I see, yeah. Mm.
On Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance, he was given the name Bimala Prasad, and I read that Bimala is a form of Durga Devi, and so like he was given the name like the mercy of Mother Durga. Although Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was Vaishnava, so I was just that got me curious as to why he was given that name.
That I gave in the book also. Bimala is the name of the Shakti worshipped in Puri in the Jagannath temple. So she's, that particular name is the form of the external energy linked with Jagannath. That's one thing. And then I also the name of a Gopi, Bimala. Could also generically be a name for Radha and Lakshmi. It simply means without blemish. Mala means blemish, dirt, and vit in this case means without. He gave all the names of his sons: Kamala Prasad, Ananda Prasad, Lalita Prasad. Yeah, I think all the names.
Guru Maharaj, I've also wondered why, when we address Sita, Ram, Lakshmi Narayana, Radha, Krishna, why the female consort comes before the male consort. It seems to be a trend.
Yeah, well, we go through the Shakti to go to the Shaktiman. Srila Prabhupada was asked why he gave the name of the deities in Chicago as Kishore Kishori, which means Krishna, Kishore, Radha, Kishore. Srila Prabhupada said, keep the best till last. That was his reply. It comes up in the song, Kishore Kishori, in several songs, Bhaktivinoda song and some other Hindi song also. But we often say Shiv Parvati, or we can say Uma Shankar, either way. If we say Shiva and Parvati together, we generally say Shiv Parvati. But if we say Uma Shankar, is it not? You don't say Shankar Uma. Maybe it's just for ease of sounds better. I don't know actually what the reason is.
Guru Maharaj, if you have a disciple who is Brahmin initiated and then due to circumstance they have to work a karmi job, does their second initiation?
Null and void? No, it's
Yes.
not. But it doesn't help. We're trying to do varnashram dharma, so it doesn't help. Anyway, all Vaishnavas are more than Brahmanas, but we are trying to establish varnashram dharma, in which Brahmanas are supposed to be living as Brahmanas in varnashram dharma. Otherwise, what's the meaning?
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, what I notice when I go out on books, I try to preach in a way that's both relatable to the person to see where they're at, but then also introduce the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And I always keep in the back of my mind when I first got introduced by Mahotsa Prabhu, he was like, very just excited. He didn't mention Krishna's name not once, but I at least oh, you did. But more so that I just more so respected that where he was coming from, and I've seen that the mood that I've noticed ever since I've joined this is shifting to try to get more, I would say, more accommodating with newcomers. My only hang-up is that sometimes when I've noticed that when we do get newcomers, they bring their own, I would say, ideals and philosophy, and it's really hard for me to adjust to that or try to preach against that. But then I also know that sometimes, sometimes I think that people more so would like just a friend first, and then I would say then they get into the principles later on. So my question is how should we, or for me, how should we preach to newcomers? Should we meet them where they're at, or should we not hold back on the philosophy?
You have to see the individual. It's not stereotyped. If we can give a book, that's good. The book is the best preaching.
You can read your book on speaking strongly.
Yeah, you can read that book on speaking strongly in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, it's an elaborate discussion on this. So you're going to tell me what services everyone is doing?
What is here? Chandanacharya Prabhu, you're well aware, is the monk coach, and trying to always come up with schemes as to how to get people to join. In many ways, he faces an uphill task, but he doesn't give up. That's his main service. Suresh Prabhu was Avadhuta Chandra Prabhu's right-hand man, helping in the garden. Also very helpful for anything else that needs to get done. If you want something to get done, you can approach Suresh Prabhu.
He arranges all the booths.
Yeah. That's a very important one.
Like that, this is one of his most important services, Maharaj, is that he arranges all the booths for us to distribute books. He's relentless. He's relentless in his service. He arranges so many things, and then even not just paying for the booths, but informing us when the load-in time is, when we should go. All he talks to them. I've gone to so many events, and they tell us, so hey, who's Austin? Who's Austin? Are you Austin? Are you Austin? Because that's Suresh Prabhu's first, Karmi first name. Anyway, so yeah, who's Austin? They always ask, because he developed such a good rapport with them that they already have a good, on the phone. So they already have a good impression of us even before we come. That plays in a big role for us, actually. So. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, he also has a we call very likable nature. So I've seen him interact with Indians. I've seen him interact with blacks, whites, anywhere, India, non-India, old people, young people.
Yeah, grandmas.
He can strike a conversation up with literally anyone. Literally anyone, and he also gives them books. Yeah. I've seen prasadam books. Navani Hoda Prabhu is not here, but he's now working. But he's a fantastic book distributor, and also
a good friend to all.
Good friend to all.
And
he's given a lot of donations. But Navani Hoda Prabhu's one thing that he's always enthusiastic to do is distribute prasadam. I've never seen someone any time of the day, any time you want prasadam distribution, and go to him. And Giri Prabhu, book distributor, and Mahotsav Prabhu can introduce the book distributors better. But one thing I'd like to say about Giri Prabhu.
What's Mahotsav Prabhu doing?
Nothing.
He's sitting around cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Basically all day.
When Mahotsav Prabhu is not present in the prasadam hall, you can feel the void.
The mode of goodness. Yeah.
It feels like suddenly, we've been pushed into some void, and immediately it's such a big difference in him being in the prasadam hall and not being in the prasadam hall.
Strong presence.
Yeah.
Could be good or bad, and bad in most cases.
Strong aura.
And Giri Prabhu, I've never seen him get mental.
Yeah,
this is like, I'm just like very amazed, because I get mental so much, and he doesn't get mental, and it's really amazing how he's just always ready. Any service you get, always ready.
Yeah, he's ready.
Always ready, And book distributors?
Yeah, Maharaj, he's always on point. Anything we need, and especially Krishna has given him a body which fits in the back of the Ram truck, so he in the bed of the Ram truck, so he can easily load the Bhagavatam sets inside. So him and Bhakti Mason are the dynamic too. So because the bed, Maharaj, there's a bed. You have to be short to be able to fit inside that cab, and short and strong, So him and Bhakti Mason are the dynamic duo when it comes to loading books. So.
He's not that short.
Go ahead.
I didn't notice.
Stand up. Matsya, stand next to him. Go stand next to him, Matsya. Don't be mental. Okay.
Now you make him mental. Yeah. Maybe because I live in India, where most people are. Most men are maybe a little shorter than that.
Yeah. Nishi Kumar Prabhu Guru Maharaj, he's like the Rasgulla of Krishna life now. He's a very, very sweet devotee. I've never seen him get upset or. Go ahead.
And because in RVC somehow or the other they don't find a need to have matching colors, so it makes him even more cute. Because all of his sets, this is not his, because we've been making him wear. We gave him 3 sets, but his original sets were all like, the kurtas and dhotis were all different colors. So.
He also said that when he was in RVC and the kirtans wouldn't be so enlivening, he would think of you dancing in kirtan, and he would feel enlivened. And when he came, he said, you were there in front and you're dancing, and it was exactly the same. And he said, for a whole year, this is what I've been envisioning in my life.
Mm-hmm. He really loves you a lot, Guru Maharaj. You want to say Ali? Okay, and Guru Ali Krishna Prabhu. Okay, can I say a little bit? Okay, he's one of the best partners to have on traveling Sankirtan March. When he comes out, he's that person. He'll support you in whatever way, adjust to whatever way. He has no hang up. I mean, sometimes, but most of the time he's good, and he's pretty straightforward.
He's been helping in the Bhakti program a lot. Very capable devotee. Videos, and pretty much anything. He knows how to play mridanga now.
Yeah.
He can lead kirtans, can cook. Cooking, pretty much everything. All around devotee.
That's good.
And organized.
He ships books.
Ships books.
He's a book order. Anytime we get a book order, we just have to post it on a group, and Alakishna Prabhu ships all the books out.
Okay, then Janardhan Krishna Prabhu is our temple commander who regularly overworks himself for no good reason, except the good reason that he feels very compassionate about the other devotees, so tends to take a little more than he should be taking on. But extremely reliable. He organized. The Sankirtan festival and the Shravan Kirtan camp went on smoothly, primarily because of him. And he has taken a lot of stress off of my shoulder, and was something I much needed, and extremely sincere. And yeah, great cook. Oh my God, how can we mention him? Great cook.
He has a lot of love for them. He has a lot of love for the Sankirtan devotees, Maharaj. So when we work really hard and we come back, we know Janardhan Krishna Prabhu is going to...
He can tend to indulge the devotees a lot. So have to generally hold him back, otherwise he'll give them treats that it's a little, can go a little overboard, but everyone loves it.
Everyone, you too.
Abhimanyu Sutta, our number 2 book distributor.
Maharaj, he's really like, if you're with Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu, like every time we go out on books, like some magic happens, Maharaj, every single time Abhi and I go out on books. It's really exciting. And he's someone you can count on. I know wherever I put him, he's going to really do huge. That's just a fact. He's imbibed that spirit, and like pretty soon he'll be able to train others. We're hoping. Yeah.
He's matured a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to say that. Matured a lot over the years, and it's very nice to see him develop that stability. Okay, then Nimai, Bhakta Nimai. Actually, he's silent, but he's very, when he talks, he can talk a lot, and he's very, very intelligent, very smart, very smart. He knows verse numbers and facts, like when was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when was the year of his appearance and things like that, even which regular devotees were expressing.
What was the year of his appearance?
1874.
So it's again, he also, I've seen him do all kinds of services, and we hope to see him go out on books more.
He's learning mridanga.
He's learning mridanga now. Learning verses, learning mridanga. Yeah. Okay. Matsya Prabhu.
Again, him and Abhi are neck to neck almost always on books, and he has an edge over Abhi with the Bhagavatam sets to the Indians. More than an he can do any style of book distribution, Maharaj. He can go to the airport. He can go on to go to the Indians. He distribute books to any kind of people, and he doesn't have hang-ups, when it comes on distributing books. And he's expert at languages. He can, he mimics, and very intelligent, knows so many shlokas, and great cook also.
Yeah, he's a great cook.
He's a great all-rounder, yeah.
And he also has been taking up more responsibilities, which is much needed, and he has the ability to to execute those things. So then Atharv Chandan is a better introduction here.
I mean, he's the son of Aviram Shaka Prabhu. Saka, my S's. So,
of who?
Abiram, the cook from last year.
Yeah. He's a cook in Charlotte, him and his wife.
Oh, I see.
So they send him down here. He comes. When he's here, he's really good.
When he's there, he's not.
His mom and dad have told me that he can join, no problem. Let him drop out of school. I'm just waiting on him. So he's another person another boy who grew up in the Krishna consciousness movement, knows how to play really good mridanga.
Yeah.
Indian American, he's
Great dancer.
actually if he dedicated himself, he'll be pretty fired up. He'll be a really good asset to the movement. Okay.
Who else is there? No, let me throw something in the back, bro. Okay, yeah, so Mason. Hiding behind Atharv. So,
Hard to hide.
you introduce everybody.
Yeah, so Bhakti Mason, did a good job finishing school and remaining Krishna conscious.
Yeah.
That's really hard, so especially during the exam times, chanting 16 rounds, not missing a day.
Mangal Aarti also.
Mangal Aarti, cleans.
He would do his cleans even during exams.
Yeah, everything.
Do what?
His cleans. He would do cleans services.
Uh-huh.
So, dedicated, came in, had a little bit of struggle, but kind of worked through it and is now doing much better.
That's on his goal.
Out on book distribution, mainly with Mahotsav Prabhu, and he's helping a lot. Load the vans, learning a lot. Now he's becoming a decent book distributor. Yeah, distributes books, yeah.
He distributed a Bhagavatam on the first day of his book distribution, very much. So did Giri Prabhu also, and Bhakti Mason also. He went out sooner than most devotees. And great. Tell him what books you need, send him a list, and he'll make sure they're in there. Very, very great asset. Very reliable, and he's got the body for lifting books and going to the farms.
We got Tapas. Tapas Prabhu. Tapas Prabhu has made, it's so nice to see the transformation in him since he went to Salem and came back. He's getting back on his book distribution. Getting
back. Yeah. When he came back from India, Guru Maharaj, he was used to his book scores in India, so we're trying to bring him back to the Atlanta book distribution state of mind. And he's getting back, and Maharaj, he was number 4 book distributor last year in Christian life. That's a big deal. You're up against, that's amazing. Number 4, and just consistent. Every day, you can count on him, he's going to do this many. He's just going to go and do it. And to be with him on books or on traveling Sangeet, he's one of the funniest people.
At the very least, if you're with him, whether the books are going or not, you can have a good time.
That could be good or bad. but he's great, Maharaj. He's great. Once or twice, was it this 2? We broke. He helped us break the world record, Maharaj. Yeah, he helped break the world record. Once him and I were the only devotees from Atlanta distributing books, and we were still number 1, in America. Just him and me.
When everyone was in India?
When everyone was in Europe.
Oh, in Europe.
A
long time ago. It was just him and I, and he was great.
Okay, Kalki Prabhu. Kalki Prabhu is our head cook, and very enthusiastic to feed all the devotees. Cooks every single day, reliable, consistent, sober person that everybody looks up to, sadhu, that everyone looks up to. This for his devotional characteristics. And yeah.
And he's like the mother of our ashram, Guru Maharaj. He really looks out for his his sambar is out of this world, fantastic, amazing. Yeah.
Kalki Prabhu might have been some South Indian cook in his past life. Any South Indian item, he really good. He's really good at, especially South Indian item.
No one makes it better than him. One lesson. And Maharaj, he's been consistent in like looking at, even when I was brand new, I was a bhakta. He was my first Sankirtan leader, and even from then he was taking care of me, and he shaved my head on the day of initiation, and even till today he's really like my mother. Anytime I'm going out on like traveling Sankirtan, he always makes like a little like something special, and like a big thing of chidwa. Like who here swears by his chidwa?
Oh my.
Everyone. His chidwa is, oh my gosh. That's your opinion.
Jitagirish Prabhu. Jitagirish Prabhu is a very good book distributor.
Yeah.
He can, again, he can do Bhagavatam sets.
No, not yet. He's going to.
He's done it. He's done it. He's done it. He's doing.
He's getting better.
So, and again, all-rounder. He can lead kirtans, cook, play mridanga. He can work in the garden, which he likes doing. And then Jitagirish Prabhu is
he's a good, safe driver. Jitagirish Prabhu is a safe driver.
He's a safe driver, I'm being told. And I haven't had much experience, but yeah.
And Maharaj, and he'll do anything too. You just tell him, Prabhu, you need to cook, do this, and he's always on point. And very dedicated to you, Guru Maharaj. And he learned the whole chapter 24 of the Rudra Gita of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He memorized that.
Mitravan Prabhu, I mean, I have to tell what service is you know more what he's doing than we do. but Mitravan's presence in the temple is grounding in the sense of he's well versed in Srila Prabhupada's books. He is someone you can always ask. Many devotees go and ask him questions on different things, and wise wisdom. He has wisdom to share with others, and whenever he gets into the kitchen, it's great. It's great.
His cream cheese pakoras.
It's great cook, really good cook. Can give very good classes, very well analyzed, and Mitravan Prabhu has been very instrumental in helping in the whole renovation process, because he's very alert to these things and very observant. Him and I had to went and observed many kitchens in different temples, and so the whole kitchen has been planned out by him. And
present one,
the new one, and even the makeshift one he organized it. So
whatever there is.
Yeah, whatever there is, it's organized by him. So he's very organized, and especially in the kitchen. And then Avaduta Chandra Prabhu is our farm manager, and loves bringing produce for Krishna.
Very unique.
A very unique person. Again, he's another sadhu, a very saintly character. Very good with his sadhana, and really lovable by everyone. He's very sweet, and we're really looking forward to seeing him use his skills more in Krishna service. Yeah.
Maharaj, I was speaking with one of your disciples, and this book by Hare Krishna Devi Dasi, Srila Prabhupada speaking on Varnashram. One of your disciples was mentioning there's more versions of that book to be published, but you held the rights. Is that true?
No,
okay.
It's all BBT has the rights to everything.
There's only one volume. I wish there was more.
She was going to do more, but then she didn't.
Okay. Thank you.
And And there's Ramdas Abhiram Prabhu, he's, you know a lot about he distributes
He
Bhagavatam.
brought you here.
Yeah, he brought us here. That's a fact. And we wouldn't be here without Ramdas Abhiram Prabhu.
It's all his fault.
Yeah, for sure.
So if anyone complains, just tell them to go to him.
Yeah. Yeah. And this Vishnu Chaitra Prabhu, he's
doing a lot of Chaitanya Charitamrita, a lot of Bhagavatam sets and Chaitanya Charitamrita sets.
yeah, for sure. And like this Vishnu Chaitra Prabhu, he's the temple president.
Oh yeah,
We wouldn't be here without him, Maharaj. There've been so many, couple of your disciples in America in the past and spread everywhere, but it's because of him that we're all here, and he's kept us without straying away in Krishna consciousness. And we're very fortunate to have him here, personally trained by you as his secretary.
Sadhu, wonderful.
Sorry, he's
asking. Mataji's. Huh? Where's he? Hiding. He ran away. Oh, he ran away. Naikatma Prabhu, he helps driving. He does the morning offering. He does Tulasi Arati. He helps. Sometimes, whenever he feels like it, he goes into the kitchen and tries to cook something. So one of his greatest regrets is the lack of chilies in our.
You can make some chili achar.
So he makes some spicy, tomato chutney or something like this. Tries to make something.
You can make chili. Oh, anyway, there's a way out of this, isn't there? Chilies with your meal. Srila Prabhupada did.
Yeah.
Just keep chilies with. It's common in Bengal, green chilies.
Yeah. And he also counts Lakshmi. One nice thing about Naikatma Prabhu is that always if there's someone who needs to go with someone somewhere, he's always the person who's available for that. And he serves prasadam. That's another thing he does. Okay, Mataji's.
Did you speak about Ramdas?
Sorry?
Ramdas?
Oh, I did. Ramdas Abhiram?
Yeah.
Yeah, he distributes books. Ramdas Abhiram Prabhu. And
doing a lot of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
A lot of Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, yeah. Ramdas Abhiram Prabhu, book distribution ki jai.
Brings everyone to the temple.
Yeah, he brings a lot of people to the temple. That's true. He brings a lot of people to the temple. He makes sure they get prasadam, makes sure they get books, beads. He's very big on making people chant Hare Krishna. And Jita.
Whenever my father comes, he's always asking, "Where's Ram?" Because Ram has this special quality of just being a friend of everybody. So.
Okay. Devyani Mataji, one of her main services is to care for Tulasi, which she does a very good job at. And apart from that, this is with all the Matajis, they're very surrendered. They also step up and do the needful when we require it. And so Devyani Mataji's dedicated and steady devotional service is something that's very notable. Through all kinds of difficulties, she's maintained her Krishna consciousness and steadiness. And so that's something that in that sense she's outstanding in that regard. Because especially at Krishna Life, Mataji Ashram has been through some roller coaster rides, and she somehow hung on to the roller coaster. Iman Mataji's main service is decorating the altar, taking care of the flowers, which she works a lot for this. She really likes doing her service. She works very hard. She's a full-time student, and so she's a student at Georgia State, and somehow she's balancing her student life and devotional life, which again,
what?
Sorry?
What subject?
Psychology. So, Iman's parents are favorable.
Yeah.
They're very respectful. I've had a couple of conversations with them, so in spite of the challenge of time management, because the Matajis have to work it out amongst themselves, and it's generally not very easy to work it out amongst themselves, because when there's no kind of specific leader. So in that sense, I'm grateful to all of them. And I would especially mention Iman Mataji in this regard, because she has student life and devotional life both to manage. It's very difficult, very difficult. And I've never seen her slacken in her service, in spite of her challenges. Yeah. Okay. Dirga Mataji whenever we need to introduce someone to Krishna consciousness, have them talk to the Matajis. She's there. She likes to speak with people. She's very gentle in her. She's the Bhakti leader, and it's difficult. And she has to train others, and it's not easy. And there are many. Sometimes it feels very discouraging, because the Mataji seem to become friends and they come to hang out, but then to bring them up to the higher level is a challenge. But she's still going at it. She's still interested, and so it's very nice to see. It's ecstatic to see her get initiated. Something that I personally was pleasantly surprised to hear, that she had actually read so much that she could actually finish her reading, and she did something even she didn't know she could do, was read 6 hours a day, and so she got initiated. She's also a good book distributor.
She's a good book distributor too, and Iman Mataji is also a very, very good book distributor. Devyani Mataji too, all of them actually. Devyani Mataji also, she's also really good, and Dirga Mataji always is there to take care of the even the devotees who come in, when the Brahmacharis from Hungary came, she was taking care of them.
So, Iman Mataji actually, she's such a good book distributor. She beat some of the men in book distribution last year. So when she puts her mind to it, she's amazing on books. But Lekha Shravanti Mataji can give her a hard time also, which is again one of Lekha Shravanti Mataji's notable services. Is she's great on book distribution. She's a great book distributor.
She's on the Bhagavatam game already. She's distributing Bhagavatam sets.
Oh.
Yeah. When we went with the Hungarian Mataji, she came to a convention. Iman Mataji, but Lekha Shravanti Mataji is really on the Bhagavatam game. She's really, she's good. Whatever is taught to her, she's good at taking it in, and she applies it, and she goes for it. She's fearless. She goes for it, and she knows how to. She's worldly smart also. So she's.
Yeah. And Lekha Shravanti Mataji is back now at Krishna Life Atlanta. Yeah, back better than ever. And so again, we're happy to have her here. Also, all the Matajis, they cook. And so that's another service that, we're grateful, because when sometimes there's a need, they're there to cook. So thank you, Guru Maharaj. Again, all of these services are all happening ultimately by your mercy, by your guidance. Without your lectures, without your books, without your personal guidance and example, none of this would actually be possible. So all glories to you.
Jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
So what's your program today?
Today they're going to be wrapping books up. Today and tomorrow they need to wrap books up. We're completely out. So and the book order from the BBT came in just before the Shravan Kirtan camp began. And so we need to tie books up.
Oh, that's a big job.
And Mataji's tie up Bhakti. That's one of the most valuable service. Everything they tie up the Bhakti stacks and the other books, Maharaj. And which saves us time to distribute more books.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
Vancha kalpatarubhascha